No, it is. The bump is like one of those. Like how long have you been doing that for? The bump on WWE Network.
Maybe like 6 months to a year, somewhere in there.
Were they trying to? Because I know Up Down Down is mostly on YouTube, but were you guys like you were doing a little bit of stuff like they were showing clips on like the WWE Network, but was there maybe any talk about doing like an exclusive WWE Network Up Down Down thing or
Not that I know of,
no
but I don't
way?
know. I don't know a lot, man.
No, I know. I know. It's crazy thing. Did you have you been when we came to the show yesterday, you were saying you have a lot of stuff that you want to start, some streaming and stuff. What have you been doing this
I
this day?
actually, I just did an hour and a half today of the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh,
Gave it,
nice.
gave it a try, man. So this happens every single time, by the way. I'm like, oh yeah, I should try this new game, so I download it, and then by the time I actually get to play it, I go to play it, and there's like another like 30 or 40 gig download that I have to do, and so I sit there for like another half an hour, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Oh my God. Well,
Every
you know
time.
what's fun? Are you playing campaign mode or are you just doing online?
I did the battle royale styles.
Okay,
I
cool.
like everybody just getting tossed in there and survival of the fittest.
I did an Instagram live a couple of days ago. It was madness with Chad Michael Collins. He's in all the sniper movies, but he does the voice capture, He's like the actor that plays Alex, the guy you play on the campaign.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was bonkers, man. The questions people were asking everything, like,
Of course.
what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What weapon should I use? Like, it was crazy, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I couldn't keep up.
No, you never can, man. Never can.
Oh man, so like Newfound Glory was a good one. Do you remember like we were talking all those like American Pie? I actually was like working out today and I was listening to American Hi-Fi. There's other
Oh,
songs that like besides Flavor of the Week that are really good though. That's not the only good song.
that might be the only song I've ever heard by them.
They have other good songs, man.
Yeah.
They're a good thing. Have Tyler Breeze's like theme song was very kind of like with the character and like you kind of singing and stuff. What would be name me two or three songs based on like your character right now that you think would be a good fit theme wise for Tyler Breeze?
Oof. Like if I was to change it right now,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't even know. I'm kind of in this like guys, trying to do something here. I'm in like I don't know, man. I'm in like a weird phase where it's like kind of the same, kind of the same deal, kind of the same Tyler Breeze that you used to, but then also like a little different where it's very odd. I kind of we touched on it before where I'm like the old vet, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
I'm freaking 32 years old. You know what I mean? I'm not like ready to retire,
Do you remember the movie The Sandlot?
I do. I've never seen Sandlot, but I
Oh.
found out about it because we were in California, somewhere LA, I think, where like everybody kind of like comes around, and this dude like walks up, and he's like a big jacked up dude, and he's got like this like WWE title, and I'm like, hey, like, what's up, man? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna head out on that stage and whatever. And I said, cool, man, like whatever. And he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I was Yaya from Sandlot. And I just went like, cool, man. Like, I have no clue what you're talking about. So then he tells someone else, he's like, yeah, I was Yaya from Sandlot. And I was like, everyone's like, do we know this guy? Or like, is he supposed to be back here? And then like, he wasn't supposed to be back there at all, but he was like getting ready to go out like on the stage and like do his thing. I guess he's like kind of a wacko. And
The reason I brought that up is because like my buddy Victor DiMatteo, who's in Sandlot, just like kind of tuned in, and he's like one of the kids. Yeah, so
dude, that's the only connection to Sandlot that I have. I haven't even seen the movie and stuff. Like
that's actually such a great story. Actually,
nuts. I was like, do we know this guy? Like, is he about to go out on like a segment or something? And everyone's like, yeah, he's not supposed to be here. I'm like,
wow, that is
okay. Yeah. Apparently he's a lunatic.
When like people, so here's a question I always had, and I'm sure like I wonder if like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I mean, you guys are Canadian. Do a lot of people not realize that you guys are actually Canadian?
Depends. So a lot of people some people are very Canadian. So like Sami Zayn, for example, very Canadian, and not even like just Canadian, but like very French Canadian.
Yeah.
So me, on the other hand, I don't really have like a Canadian accent. So like a lot of people, like when you hear me talk and stuff, they don't think I'm Canadian at all. Like even when I was in Canada, people thought I was like from California, and I've just never had that like Canadian accent.
Someone, our Park 4922 says, "Can I get a shout out?"
R Park 4922. What up?
Yeah. Will you ever come back on SmackDown?
I don't know, man. It's not up to me.
I didn't ask that. Someone else
I
asked
see it. I see it.
Oh man, all the Sandlot comments are coming in now.
I'm telling
Like literally, it's like,
yeah.
oh man. Victor Damadia says, "Haha, that's classic Marty. That's Marty York." Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I had no clue. I had to Google him, and I was like, yeah, that's the dude. Like, that's the dude who's just hanging out when he shouldn't be.
But you didn't watch the movie yet, though, right?
Never seen it. Never seen it.
So Vic has a funny role, though, where they're trying to do some stuff, and then a vacuum cleaner explodes in his face, and he, like, does this really iconic, like, sneeze.
Nice.
And, like,
I know of certain, like, iconic things from it, but I've never seen it in its entirety.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to music, do you remember the Academy Is, Motion City Soundtrack? Remember those bands? Or was that...
That one doesn't sound familiar.
Did you ever go to Warped Tour, Tyler?
No, I wish. I actually have a dude who like got in touch with me. And he was like, "Hey man, if you ever want to go to Warped Tour," I was like, "Of course I want to go to Warped Tour." I just never got the chance.
One of the toughest interviews I've ever had to do was like I interviewed Kevin Lyman, the founder of the tour.
Damn.
And I asked him why he canceled the tour.
Yeah.
Because like they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But that was like the hardest question I've ever had to answer, man. Like ask. It was so hard, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm straight up like. Because I asked him before, I'm like, what can I ask? He was like, you can ask me anything you want.
Open book?
And I was just like, yeah, but that's scary as an interviewer sometimes, right? Because you're like,
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, same with you. I mean, for people that are watching, Tyler has actually come on my actual podcast, Popternative. We recorded yesterday. It was a good time. I hope you had a good time on it.
I did. I like doing stuff like this.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing, and I'm sure as a WWE superstar you can relate, like patience is a virtue. Oof. I mean, it takes sometimes, you know what, man? Like that interview was, a good 6-7 months in the making, but it happened, and I'm never gonna man. I know you're a busy guy. You know what I mean?
The thing is some people understand that, and some people don't. Like, some people are like, man, why can't you just do it? It takes 2 seconds, whatever. It doesn't work that way. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, you deal with it because you have to deal with a lot of people. But, it's not like I'm just sitting here being like, yeah, I'll do this later. Like, it's never like that. Like, if I could line up all the million things that I want to do and just do them all, I would. But it's not really up to me.
No, absolutely. But it's just it's the reason also why I made it, I don't know if you noticed, right? But, my podcast is 15, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of did, yeah, because I didn't want to. Because there are a lot of podcasts out there, man. My friends do podcasts, and they have me listen, and it's an hour-long episode, and I'm like, holy smokes, you know what I mean? I find, don't you find it's also, it's more courteous to my guests just for a quick 15, 20-minute interview, right? Rather than have them, stay for an hour or two.
And I don't mind, I've only done a couple podcasts, and some are like that, where I actually don't mind. Once we start talking, I actually don't realize that I have a lot of stories and a lot of stuff that I could talk about that I never really do. So once we kind of roll into another, an hour's gone, and I'm like, whoa, we're done already? Let's do this again. But on stuff like that, where it's 15, 20 minutes is easy because I know a lot of people. Me personally, if somebody comes up to me, one of my friends, and they're like, hey man, check this out real quick. And I look at it and I immediately touch the screen. It's 8 minutes long. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching all this, dude. I'm not going to sit here and watch this. If it's a minute, yeah, I'll do it. That's just the world we live in. You know what I mean?
Tyler Bermudez wants a shout out.
Huge fan since OGFC Dub. Wow. Okay.
Mike Dalton.
You were one of the 5 people in the crowd there. That's cool.
Mike Dalton.
Oh, what a time!
You had a sick theme song though.
The first, yeah, I kind of remember it.
I just watched a match. I watched a match you did with Leo Kruger.
It's kind of so which one? I wonder which one I came out to. Because there was one I really liked, and then there was another one that I was like, man, it's all right.
There's just a squad. There's a match that when you're the early days of the NXT rebrand.
Yeah.
Where JR is the commentator and everything, where you fight Luke Harper. And it doesn't last very long.
Dude, he never lets me live that one down. I tell him all the time, I was like, you were so rough in that for no reason.
One thing
I think I was mouthing him off during it.
No, I know. one thing and you were also weren't you geez, Juice Robinson now, but like CJ Parker, right? Like you guys
Yeah.
had a little bit of a tag team at one point, didn't you?
We wrestled each other a million times and then wrestled together a million times.
you,
We were
you
both stuck in that same thing, man.
you were, and then you both rebranded and had pretty
Essentially, yeah.
big pushes.
A little bit.
I think his because I think he did a really good job getting Kevin Owens over in Kevin Owens' debut on NXT. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think he did. I mean, I know he might have got a lot of heat for that clap that like got him all bloody, but
Not really. Not
yeah,
really. Not from what I remember, anyway.
okay. I don't know, man. I stopped reading all these like wrestling rumor websites because it's like everyone gets heat for everything apparently.
Well, the funny part, man, is like he doesn't really exist anymore. Like it's not really a thing. Like before, it used to be like a gigantic thing where it's like, oh, this guy's got heat, whatever. It doesn't really exist anymore.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Not really. Like people make it out to be like a big thing. It's really not. Trust me, if it is, like maybe I've had heat for like 10 years and never known it, but you know what I mean? Like it's not really a thing.
So there's other reasons, and because people say, oh, this guy got released because of heat, blah 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 blah. It's like that's.
There's always reasons behind stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. No. And you know what? Like, you did an interview with Chris Van Vliet.
Yep.
And I listened to his interview with Ryan Satin, and who's on WWE Backstage now, and he has like the Satin Report, and like, yeah, no, like I think people want to know, like, I think I think the whole like dirt sheet thing is gonna kind of like I think people want the positive stuff now. Like I want positive. I don't want to hear about crap anymore.
It depends, man. I mean, you get, and especially in like today's society, people are weird, dude. Where like and this isn't even just wrestling. This is like every industry, but like wrestling specifically, just because I know, because it's whatever. People want to know what's happening before it's happening, and then they want to be mad about it, no matter what. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, even no matter what, like, if we put out, like, wicked programming or, like, you know, whoever does, it doesn't matter. We're just going to find, like, the negative shit to talk about and just, like, talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, where it doesn't have to be, but I don't know why we're just so pessimistic and negative about everything. And even if we give exactly what people want, there's like, oh, well, now they're doing this just because we wanted it. And it's like, what? Like, just watch and enjoy, man. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I know, just watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? And it's one of those things where, like, you know, WWE, AEW, NXT, AEW. This is a good opportunity for a lot of wrestlers that can now have a job right now.
The more wrestling,
on the positive,
the more wrestling, the better, man. Like, I wish there was like 20 wrestling things to go to, because then all my friends would have jobs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see anybody have a job, so I support all of it.
Someone's asking about your 205 Live dream match.
Dream match? Who would be my? I don't know if I have a 205 Live dream match. I don't really do like favorites and dream matches and stuff.
Fantasy booking.
I don't know. Well, let me ask you, what would be your dream match to watch me and somebody on 205?
On 205?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think you and Angel Garza would have a pretty cool match.
We had one.
You had a match.
We had a fun one. How about if we're going dream match here? How about me versus Will Ospreay? Someone
actually in the comments like asked, like, what do you think of Will Ospreay?
So funnily enough, he like because I think I've tweeted at him a couple times because I stole a couple of his things. And then so like he tweeted at me, and then like I've never met him, never really talked or anything. And then some random night, like a couple weeks ago, we were like DMing each other on Twitter, and it was like, hey man, what's going on over there? Hey, what's going on over there? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it was just like cool conversation. He seemed like a cool dude. Never met him.
Well, you know what? If I was going to do a little bit of fantasy booking, I still think till this day that, you know, Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler would have been a really good tag team. But like, no, I feel like you guys would have been so good together. I don't know.
Yeah. I fully agree with it.
Yeah. Okay. So I actually spoke to, she's Kaden Carter on NXT, but Lacey Lane. She came on my show. And she was talking about, you know, her sports days and playing, you know, college basketball and everything. Mm-hmm. Was there a sport that you were really, really playing competitively a lot while you were kind of trained? Actually, no, not like you became a WWE superstar, you FCW trained and everything. Before that, were you competitively playing the sport specifically?
I played hockey for 10 years, and then it kind of like came to the point of like, hey, are you going to pursue this or are you going to pursue
Did
wrestling?
you play like junior?
So
Who'd you
I
play
never
for?
got to. I tried out for like AAA teams and all that stuff, but at the time, it's not like I mean, but like hockey gets really expensive when you do all the tournaments and stuff like that.
Oh,
And like just to even just be on the AAA teams and stuff like that was a lot of money. So I tried out. My buddy actually forced me to try out, and I made it, but it was just so expensive. Like my parents we couldn't afford it.
that happens
Yeah.
way like that happens, man. There's probably like one
Dude,
of
there's
the
tournaments every weekend, and it's like my hockey gear in my bag cost more than the car that we drove. You know what
So
I mean?
that's what
So
I
like,
do. That's what I do. So like my day job, I work for the Ottawa Senators. I run the Ottawa Senators Adult Hockey League, like the
yeah,
men's leagues at night. But we have tournaments every weekend. Like my
yeah,
friends, like Vikram, they're the tournament coordinators. Like there's
yeah.
like minor hockey tournaments every weekend. Like, it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, it don't stop, man. It don't stop. Like I would have loved to just play hockey all the time,
Yeah.
but just like I said, couldn't afford it, man. Couldn't afford it.
Favorite memories on Fashion Police,
Oh.
Fashion Files.
Favorite memories? I loved. I mean, I loved actually just the whole thing entirely because it was very, very odd, and it was like one of a. I don't know. It's one of like a. I guess a one of a kind thing where we were kind of in a category of our own, where everybody kind of just left us alone and like let us do our own thing, which is very, very unlike what we do. Like it was just kind of like, don't even tell us what we're doing this week. Like we're just gonna do it and have fun, and like nobody cared as long as we hit our times, we were good.
For sure. What do you also think about do you think that what was the reaction like in your opinion internally like with your family and friends about when Breezango kind of came on NXT, like made their NXT return? Because I was stoked.
Yeah, yeah. So my family's always been like super supportive of everything. So like when they knew Dango was out for like a year, then it was like, okay, well, just because I had a lot going on at the time too, where like I just kind of spiraled out of control, and they were just kind of like, all right, just like whatever makes you happy kind of thing and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I need to like make a change here. So I asked basically to go back to NXT, and then when I did, then it was like, okay, well, Dango's ready to come back. Like I said, yeah. And they like told me what was happening and everything. I said, cool, sounds awesome. Like it'll be fun. And then after it all happened and everything, everybody was like, man, that was awesome. Like that was really cool and everything else. And even Dango was like, he's like, he never experienced NXT before. Like not like that. Like he'd never been in like the NXT of what it is now. And I was like, oh, you'll love it, dude. Like it'll be so cool. You'll love it. And he came out and he did the thing and he came back and I went, what'd you think? And he goes, dude, that's the best reaction I've ever got. Like he's like, the fans are crazy. And I said, yeah, it's awesome, right?
No, it was really cool. And I mean there's so many Full Sail memories at this point, right? Like so
Yeah.
many. And what but another thing too is notice you look at guys like, Angel Garza, he's on, NXT a little bit, he's on 205 Live, and then he's on, Raw sometimes or like SmackDown, one of those two. Does that a lot of that happen too also with like travel, like certain wrestlers like travel situations too? Like for example, like does that ever happen as well?
Depends, man. Everything is kind of like up to a couple people. And so like I think it's just a lot more chaotic than people know. You know what I mean? Like
No, for sure.
there's really like I think some people assume there's like this like gigantic plan and it all just comes off and we rehearse all this stuff and do all this stuff, whatever. It's not like that. Like it's like crazy, man. Like you have to if you explain this stuff to like actors or like acting coaches or like anybody, they go, oh my God, like no, like the I'll be in my trailer kind of thing. Like we are stuntmen and actors and everything all at once, and like you have to do it all. You know what I mean? And like you can't just stuff changes while you're in the ring and while you're doing stuff. It's like nuts, man. People don't understand.
Tyler Breeze, half of Breezango, please tell people, set the record straight. Pro wrestling is not fake. You guys are stuntmen. Please say that right now.
So, honestly,
You're stuntmen.
I've done this for 14 years, and for the amount of which I don't even think this is like a real question anymore. I mean, it might be, but whatever. But I've done it for 14 years, and the amount of abuse that I put myself through, I wish it was fake because I would hurt a lot less. Like it's not.
Geez.
It's try being an actor. try being a stunt person, try being a fight coordinator, try doing it all at once with HD cameras in your face. Like you have to have so many skills wrapped up into one to pull off this live action show that we're doing. Like, yeah, there's writers who write storylines of what these characters are going to do, but you're flying by the seat of your pants with no safety net on TV. Like if I go, I can't remember what I'm supposed to say here. There's like, we're live, man. You can't redo stuff. Like you have to be on point with your stuff. So
I know
to kind of discredit it with certain things. It's like, I liken it all the time to magic. Like, all right, do you believe in magic? I don't know. Do you? It depends. If I watch a good magician and he does some crazy trick and I go, dude, how did he do that? That's insane. I don't know. Is magic real or is it fake? Who knows? But that guy's really good that he made me question it. So I know for me personally, if I kick someone in the face and everyone goes, oh my God, how do you do that? And the guy's still okay. Guess what? I'm a good magician. And so is the person that I'm working with. So it just to even question like one little thing that you do of like, okay, well maybe the rest is like fake, but that was real. That he had to have got him. You know what I mean? Like that is kind of what we do is we just suspend the disbelief at any little moment that we can.
People have asked to kind of extend on that. People have asked me like who are some of the most like interesting, fascinating people I've ever had on my show. And it's always pro wrestlers because of the stories you guys have. Is it safe to say the reason you guys have so many stories is because you're traveling and working all the time?
I mean, probably, yeah, just probably time put in, man. Like even, so we've been asked this a bunch too, where it's like, all right, well, you know, do you guys rehearse your matches before you do them and everything else, whatever. It's like, honestly, you want to know my schedule? Because I don't have time for a rehearsal. Like I fly into a town, I try to find a gym because I'm going to be shirtless on TV. So I have to work out and take care of myself. And then I have to eat somewhere in there. And then I have to get to the building to get ready. I have to, you know, make sure everything's good. I have to shave. I have to put tanner stuff on. I have to get my hair cut.
Absolutely.
All that stuff. And then all of a sudden it's showtime and away you're going. Like you don't have, it's not like, you know, like some show like Cats or like some, you know, some play where you can go in and you practice the same thing over and over and you do it and you're good. It's not like that. Like our stuff changes every day and every week. Like it's just nuts, man. You have to just kind of be okay in the chaos.
No, for sure. What was it like wrestling Jushin Liger in his only WWE match? We talked about that yesterday.
It was awesome. So like the funny story is I remember it was Finn who told me, I believe. Like, cause it was like a mystery. It was like, oh, we don't know who you're wrestling at TakeOver. And I was like, okay, well, like I have no clue. So, and then Finn told me, he goes, hey man, he goes, they asked me to ask Liger if he can come in. And I just started laughing. I was like, he doesn't work here. Like, no, it can't be him. And he goes, no. But like, he like trained me. So like they asked me to kind of reach out to him and like see if he'd be open to working a match. I said, oh, that'd be cool if it happens, I guess. So then they said like, yeah, it's going to be Liger. I think I found out like right before they revealed it on TV. Like they're like, oh yeah, you're going to be in the ring. And then we're going to show, you know, your opponent on the Tron or whatever. I was like, okay. And it was him. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's true. So I show up in Brooklyn and I'm sitting in catering and I'm sitting across from this dude and I haven't seen him before. And I'm like, but I feel like this isn't like a cameraman or like somebody. I'm just kind of like sitting across from him. And I'm like, hey man, I said, are me and you working tonight? And he goes, oh yes. And I just went, oh my God, this is you? Like I would have never guessed, but like I had this feeling. So he was the nicest dude ever, man. He's like, oh, please, like, I don't really know the style, so please, like, help put the match together and everything else. I said, cool, man. So, like, I just kind of, like, thought of a couple things and ran him by him, and he was, like, the coolest dude ever. He wanted to try one thing, I think, and besides that, we just kind of went out there and had a blast. Like, he was the coolest, man. And, like, he came back and was just super thankful and super, like, hey, man, this is great. And I was like, dude, this is, like, the easiest thing ever.
So that's the thing too. Like you have, okay, so for example, like as much as you can, I mean, like, okay, so Tyler Breeze versus Angel Garza on NXT, right? You go in the ring, right? Do you guys chat before you go in the ring at all?
Bits and pieces.
Okay.
I mean, it really just depends. Like for the most part, you just kind of have a direction and then you kind of go from there.
And there's a lot of obviously like there's like it's a lot of like the referee is in there doing his thing.
Ref's a part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched Glow on Netflix?
I have seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't watched the entirety of it.
It's one of those things where it really shows how like that the referees are really part of it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're kind of the ringleaders in there, man. They're just as big a part of it as we are.
Absolutely. You've wrestled in Japan before?
I've never
You have
been to
never
Japan.
wrestled
Never
in
wrestled in
Japan?
Japan.
So you've never been there.
Never been.
What were the conversations with Jushin Thunder like, or like, okay, like, did you ask him about like Japan and everything? Was there any of that? Or?
No, not really. Not really. Like, we kind of just talked a little bit about what we were going to do. Or I mean, just really like an introduction, like, hey man, you know, whatever. And then, after the match, I kind of just asked a couple questions, but nothing crazy. Just kind of like, hey, how was this? And, oh, hey, how was this? And whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of like normal conversation. And then he was there with a couple of people that I talked to as well. But really nothing about like going there to work or anything like that.
Man, the amount of Sandlot comments that still come in here.
It's funny, dude.
Like, it's like all like Sandlot, like Tyler Breeze should have been in Sandlot.
I don't think, dude. When was Sandlot? Like 89 or something? Like I was 1 year old.
So at one point you were talking about like the fact that so when you were saying like I hope it was real, I hope it was fake, you know, because all the abuse you took in the ring, right?
I wish it was.
So
yeah.
I chuckled not because of that, because it was kind of serious we were talking about, but I chuckled because someone was like, I want to see Tyler Breeze in Sandlot. So I started talking. Let's talk video games a little bit.
Cool.
One of the me and my friends were really into those Jackbox games. Have you ever played those?
Yeah, the party ones.
Dude, like Quiplash is like one of my favorite ones.
We did a rap one where you like make raps against each other.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Think about how like that's such a cool thing to do now at parties, right? You take your phone and you put it on it, like it's sick, man.
So I actually just got a game. It's like Air Pictionary, but like you play it on your phones where you have like this like pen and the person draws in the air and everybody holds their phones up and you play it on an app and you can see like all of the whatever they're drawing. You can see it 3D on your phone and then you guess it from there.
That's crazy.
Technology, man.
Shout out to Kelsey Braid from TSN.
Wow, TSN. I love TSN, man. I love
TSN is in the house here.
I love TSN.
Man, TSN was so. TSN used to play Raw. Like when I used to be a kid, it was always on Raw. It was always on TSN.
Oh yeah, every time.
It was pretty good. Kelsey, do you have a question for Tyler Breeze? Right now, Kelsey's an anchor on TSN.
Probably. Can I see your T-shirt? And I will say yes, because it is a kitten on the Empire State Building. Yes, this is what I was wearing right now.
They did some stuff on Up Up Down Down with Gang Beast. I don't know. Were you part of that, dude? How fun is that game?
The craziest game ever, man. I love it,
dude. So there was one game we did, me and my friends, where it was a soccer game. It was a soccer level. So there's like a soccer ball in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, but I cheated and I just like I just took one of the guys and just lifted him and just went in the corner on the fence.
Yeah.
No, but I stayed on the fence so he couldn't really do anything.
Dude, the game's awesome. The game is
it's so much fun.
Have you ever played Nidhogg?
No. Is it on Steam?
I'm guessing it would be, but it is the simplest, most addictive game ever. There's an episode of me and Big E playing it. And he gets so mad because it's literally all it is you're two stick figures and you have a sword and you just
I have played that.
You have to kill the guy and run, and like you can throw the sword, and you can duck out of the way and do all this other stuff. But I got him so angry that he's yelling and swearing, and he's just like.
Does it also different levels have like spikes and stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's the
like
one.
Doors to go through and stuff.
There was a place called the Blurry Pixel in downtown Ottawa. It was like a video game bar.
Yeah.
And that's all we did, man. We played Gang Beasts for like 3 hours.
So good. So good.
What I find really interesting too is I found out that you can actually do like you can get Steam. Like, I'm kind of like a noob of a lot of this stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't judge, man. I'm not one of them.
No, but like my friend was telling me that there's certain games that we can play. Like we're really into trivia. Like I'm really good at my pop culture trivia. Like I don't think a lot of people. Man, that is a challenge, man.
That's a bold claim, though, bro. That's a bold claim.
I'm good with my pop. My friends don't like playing with me because.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like a ringer.
But like, there's apparently on Steam because we're all trying. We have a group like we have a Friday night sports group where we rent a gym every week and just play sports, right? And then when we don't have the gym, we just play video games stuff. So we're trying to figure out ways to do things, right? So we did like the Jackbox party games and everything. But apparently there's something like there's a way we can like go on Steam online and do a lot of that stuff.
There's a lot of games on Steam, yeah. Like I think you can get the majority of them on there.
No, I know. It's
and that's I think for the most part that's PC based.
I just want to play Gang Beasts like all the time.
Gang Beasts is good
because it's a good game. I just want to listen to Gang Beasts and I want to play Gang Beasts and just listen to Sum 41. I think that's a great Tyler Breeze night right there.
Can't go wrong with Sum 41, man.
That was my first concert. You said Offspring was your first concert?
Offspring was mine, yeah.
My first concert was Sum 41. That was my dude. How cool was my dad? It was my elementary school graduation present.
Wow.
Was Sum 41 tickets. Is that not sick?
That's not bad at all. So I had my first one I ever went to was Offspring, followed by Our Lady Peace.
Yes.
Fantastic group.
So, yes, Jeremy Taggart, the former drummer of that band, he has a Taggart and Torrance podcast with Jonathan Torrance from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
And fun fact about him, do you remember the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire? There was that song with Chad Kroeger, Hero. Do you remember that song?
Yeah, yep.
So there's a clip of it. Kelsey, who was on TSN, was actually on that episode too. We're talking. He's in that video. He's like the drummer playing like in the Hero video with Josie Scott from Saliva and Chad Kroeger. And he says that video, he got paid like $10,000 to do that video. That video was crazy, apparently.
Oh yeah, that was massive. That
movie was huge, man.
How about Our Lady Peace, the main singer, dude? Rain Maida is a hell of a name. Like that's a cool wrestling name.
It is. Somewhere Out There is probably like one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, Superman's Dead, dude, kills it every time.
Oh, Clumsy's a great song too.
Oh, what an album! What a whole album.
Dude, I love Our Lady Peace.
Fantastic.
Do you remember who was on the bill when you saw Our Lady Peace?
Our Lady Peace. Oh my God, that was so long ago. It was nobody that stood out to me. Like nobody that was like, oh man, I was like excited to see them. They were kind of like dudes I didn't know.
Yeah, that happens. I found out when I saw Sum 41, there was this band called Jersey that opened up for them, and then like and they were like decent. Like they had a few like Much Music songs.
I was gonna say, I feel like Jersey. Like I know like one song from them, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So, but I found out that like later on when I did some concert promotions when I was a bit younger, and a band called The Artist's Life. Yeah. The singer of that band was the drummer of Jersey. And I was like, I saw you guys open up for Sum 41 at my first concert.
Do you remember Billy Talent?
Of course.
Love Billy Talent, dude. How many people have heard of Billy Talent?
Okay, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Billy Talent it was a band called Monine was the first band on it. It was Monine. Okay. Then it was Anti-Flag. Okay. Then it was Rise Against.
Ooh.
Opening up for Billy Talent, man.
Yeah, Billy Talent was big, dude. They got big.
They have a new album coming out.
They do?
Yeah. They put out a song called Reckless Paradise. A great song, man.
Wow. I only know they're like old stuff.
Dude,
I don't know they have new stuff.
Their new song sounds like old Billy Talent.
Damn.
It is so good. Remember Try Honesty and River Below?
Of course, Try Honesty. That was the one that got me into it.
Do you remember Pennywise?
Pennywise, yeah.
Do you
remember Mest?
Oh, Jetlag. The
Cadillac, dude. Cadillac.
So it's funny because I don't know where you were when they were kind of big, but Much Music had 2009, 2010. Much Music had a really big run with a lot of like Toronto bands, you know what I mean? And there were shows called
Much was huge, man. I love
So my friends they're from Edmonton originally, but they were Toronto. They were in a band called Stereos.
Okay.
And they had that song Summer Girl, doo wop, let's make it.
I know that one.
So he's a friend of mine, and and they were on they won this show called Disband, and then they were doing like all these huge festivals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of signed a record, a deal with a label that they maybe shouldn't have signed.
It happens, yeah.
So they're just chilling right now. And his new band, actually, when I post our episode, you'll see it. His new band called In All Alone, it's a pop punk band.
Yeah.
Their song is my theme song for my show. which is pretty cool.
That's
So it
all
was really
right.
funny. I kind of made a joke because I went on. I was like, he did a live with me, and I said, "Okay, Pat," I said, how like close are we? Like, can I make a dig right now? Can I make a joke right now?" And
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, "Oh, we're pretty tight. Like, I won't be offended." So
Yeah.
I do these lives, right? And I have like 6 a night, and he was like the headliner. Like, he was the last one I did for the night, right? So I was like, "Oh, I guess it's 2009 again."
All right. All right.
Where you're headlining again. He's like, "Shut up."
Dude, it's great. I like back when like CDs just started turning into MP3s, and you could like not put them on like an MP3 player, but you could have like you could burn an MP3, like an MP3 disc. So all of a sudden you had like a CD that you could put like 40 songs on instead of 2.
Oh yeah.
So I still have. I like went through all of my CDs as a kid, and I burned like a country MP3, a rap MP3, a punk MP3, and I still have them all. And I play them in my car, and you rediscover all these like lost gems that you like totally forgot about, dude.
Did you ever buy the Big Shiny Tunes albums?
Dude, I got them every Christmas in my
Me
stocking
too.
from my mom.
Man, so Biff Naked, I love myself today.
Oh,
You know that?
love it.
Dude, Biff Naked's a friend of mine. She's been on my show.
So cool.
Man, we should do an episode like me, you, and her. How fun would that be?
That'd be the best. That'd be the best.
Man, we should do. And like she's
I
one
love
of the
myself
coolest.
today, dude. That song was like that. It rocked hard, dude.
Dude,
Still does. Still does.
she,
I have it on
she,
MP3 in my car.
man, it is a great song. There's so many like music. What would we do without music, man?
Oh, dude. So here's a fun little tale. So yesterday I was getting ready to stream some video games.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged in like this light, and I was trying to like make my like streaming setup like a little more professional.
Yep.
And I plugged in this light, and then all of a sudden like my internet went out, and so I was like, oh well, okay, like maybe it'll come back on. Hour later, nothing. 2 hours later, nothing. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed. It'll be on in the morning. I wake up, still no internet. So I'm like, what is going on here? So I sit down and I'm like calling my like internet people, and there actually is like some outages and stuff. So I'm like, they're like, yeah, there's no outage in your area. And so I look, and I see my modem has like all the stuff on. My router has no lights on it. I unplugged it somehow. When I unplugged the other thing in, I've had internet this entire time.
Oh my God.
Internet down. I have no TV because I don't have cable. I just have all the like streaming services. My Nest, like my security system and everything else, it's all connected to Wi-Fi. So I got none of that. My Echo in the kitchen plays all my music. I got nothing. So like I'm like, Echo, play whatever, and it's just like, we don't have any service. I was like, damn it, I'm dying here, man. I got nothing. So I'm like watching stuff on my phone. I'm like, this sucks.
Oh man. It's funny too because like I know you don't like a lot of the heavy stuff, but I'm gonna tell you why I like
some.
I'll tell you why I like some of the heavy stuff though, because I know there's a lot of screaming and stuff. I get it, but like what I've been listening to a lot of. These are the bands I've been listening to a lot of because of the guitar, because I love guitar and songs.
Okay,
so I've been listening to a lot of Bullet for My Valentine, In Flames, Trivium, Killswitch Engage, Unearth, because it's ear candy. The guitar solos, the guitar riffs, man, it's so sick. It gets me so pumped.
So I'm kind of like, I like a lot of everything. But like when I was like younger, and still now, because I'd still toss on some stuff and still like it, but like Slipknot, I was big into Slipknot, dude.
I love Slipknot. Slipknot's one of my favorite bands.
Dude, I thought Slipknot was awesome. Like, what else was there? There was like, my buddy Steve got me into a bunch of stuff. It was like Slipknot and Mudvayne, Twisted, and like all this like random stuff that he was like, hey, try this. And
Korn?
it was a lot of stuff
Were
like
you
that.
in the Korn?
Love Korn, dude. Love Korn.
Yeah.
Got the
I saw Korn in concert with Disturbed.
Disturbed. I love Disturbed. So in high school, I was in like a guitar class, and I actually sang, it wasn't Down with the Sickness. It was, what the hell was it?
Stricken?
Nope. Keep going.
Stupefy?
Stupefy. I sang Stupefy in my guitar class, man. And actually, I was across the board. So, like, I sang Stupefy by Disturbed, and then I also sang Tribute to the Greatest Song in the World by Tenacious D.
That's awesome. So I was just doing a live yesterday with Lee Arenberg. He's an actor who's in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's the guy who does, like, Hello, Puppet.
Oh, I love that dude.
Yeah, but he was talking about how he used to roommate with Kyle Gass, like Jack Black's brother.
Oh, dude, that'd be so
Yeah,
sick.
so he was telling me, he's like, I remember, he's like, the amount of songs that like he would hear like Kyle in his room,
Oh yeah.
like record, like mess around with.
Oh my god, dude, Kyle's the best.
School of Rock is actually like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Fantastic,
And I
fantastic.
will tell you, okay, so he got really upset because I'm excited to have this conversation with you right now because man, we're everyone's watching right now. They're like, you guys are such nerds.
Dude, huge nerd, huge
But
nerd.
listen, okay, so the band that wins the Battle of the Bands in School of Rock over Jack Black's band with the
Yeah.
kids who kick out Jack Black, right? No
Yeah.
Vacancy. That song that they do is one of the best songs of all time, man. Heal me, I'm hot sick. That song is so good, man.
There's a lot of hidden gems in there, man, like that you don't notice. You're like, they play like half a song, and you're like, whoa, that's actually cool. Huh?
Dude, that song, and everyone's like, oh, and then there's a thing is like when they find out they lost and no Vacancy wins, and then like Jack Black's like, boo, they weren't even listening to the music, it was a beauty contest, boo. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, that's a fucking sick song.
The song was badass, dude. Yeah.
Do you remember that song? That song was so good. And
course.
like I love that movie. And then Napoleon Dynamite is also one of my favorite movies of all time.
One of my favorite growing up. I literally had no clue what it was, watched it, and went, oh my god, this is the best.
So story about that is it was like one of the last days of school. My dad ended up bringing me to go see a movie, and we went to one of these AMCs that had like 3 or 4 movies that were playing, so there wasn't that many of a choice.
Yeah.
But we ended up going to see Napoleon Dynamite, and it was me in my class, and like it was a 6:30 movie, and it was me and my dad, and no one else in the theater but all of my teachers and elementary school admins, like 14 of them, I guess, going for like end of school year movie. But it was at the same time the most awkward thing, but like the best movie of all time. So,
I remember that movie got like, so I want to say there was like 3 or 4 movies that I basically, like, as soon as I watched them, I just quoted them over and over for like weeks and weeks and weeks. That one, remember at the time, which I think it was just becoming a thing, but you could like get little sound clips and like put them as things. So like anytime, do you remember MSN Messenger?
Yeah.
So anytime I got a message on MSN Messenger, it would be like it'd be Kip or something like that. It'd be like cheese or like whatever it would be. And so like you'd get a million of them and you'd be like cheese.
Were you a fan? Well, you were saying, so were you a fan of the Duke Nukem games growing up?
I was, yeah.
So
Judge
John
Dredd.
St. John, the guy who does the voice of him, I know him and I just had him on my show, and he did customize Duke Nukem like ringtones for all my friends.
That's awesome. So
and
I actually just met I just met the dude who does the NBA Jam. Like the He's on Fire.
That's sick.
So he was on like one of the like what was it? It was like WWE Watch Along or something. But he was around and like he does stuff like that. Like he does like your answering machines or whatever, but he doesn't stop. Like he just goes and he's just like what is he just kept saying like boom shakalaka and all that. Like he drops them all. Like he just keeps going.
That is amazing. I think it's okay. I forget. He's an NBA is it Waltman, like the announcer for NBA?
Oh, maybe.
People are gonna destroy me for not knowing this name. So like, he has like in Little Nicky, he has like a cameo.
Yeah,
he has a cameo in it. He's like the announcer. Oh, dude, people are gonna kill me for this because he played in the NBA. He was.
I thought you were big on this pop culture trivia, man.
No, I know. But anyway, the best thing was he has a part in Little Nick, when they have the Harlem Globetrotter games and when he does like the big slam dunk and he's like, this is amazing. And he's like, my head is literally on fire. Like that part. I remember tweeting out to him because he like, I had a guy from ESPN on my show and he like retweeted it. And then the guy I'm talking about like liked it, was like, oh my God, that's so cool. So then I responded, I was like, not as cool as your cameo in Little Nicky. And he replied with like the greatest reply of all time. He wrote hot because his head was on fire.
Great.
Oh man, it was so good. We'll go for about another 5 minutes. People are saying, wow, it's so cool. Tyler Breeze has done this live for a while. We've been on for a while. This is awesome, man.
Why not? This is easy, man. This is easy stuff.
Do You are so I did in terms of like current WWE people, like I've had you, I've had Lacey Lane, and I did Rusev a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But my interview was about like because he's in a movie called Another Version of You with CJ Perry.
Okay.
So we were talking about that a little bit. But we talked like one question I wanted to ask before we wrapped up and came back to the wrestling that I saw is what is your favorite WrestleMania entrance that you remember watching of all time?
Favorite Mania entrance of all
Because
time.
Rusev with the tanks, he thinks it was like the best one of all time. But
Well, of course he thinks it is. It's his. Um, best
it was
of all
pretty good
time.
though.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, it depends. It depends. So the one that I guess in like modern day that I think is like the coolest was probably like New Day with the big cereal box falling over with all the
That
stuff
was
falling
really
out.
cool.
Right, and it's also cool because like I was there and like they're my best friends. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome. So that one I would probably say. I also liked what was Alexa Bliss's where she came down on the thing. She
Yeah.
came down on a little thing. I thought that was cool. But the one that probably means the most to me would have been Shawn Michaels from Mania 14.
Yeah.
Because like that was like prime Shawn where he was like, I think he was also hurt at the time and then got even more hurt during the match. But like he came out and he was like the man, dude. Like he was like 100% confidence. And like he was just like, I think he was even yelling like random stuff as he was coming out. But he was just that like dude, so badass, so badass. And I remember like because Mania 14 is where like I wanted to become a wrestler after watching that.
Bill Walton, thank you. Sasha's talking about Bill Walton, man. Yeah,
Gotcha, dude.
no, but
Gotcha.
he played in the NBA. And he was like unreal.
Yeah.
Like so.
How'd you not remember
worst.
that? I'm very
I
surprised.
know. I'm sorry. Okay, stop. I'm still gonna beat you. I'll still beat you. Actually, I don't know, man. I feel like me and you, we know the same stuff. I feel like we have a lot in common. I feel like this is like a Step Brothers moment.
I'd have to write down like 5 questions that I think would stump you, and then you'd have to do the same, and then we'd have to go.
Ooh, absolutely. I think it's like I think yesterday it started too. Like was it like we were talking about Sum 41, like the Offspring. I feel like that was like, did we just become best friends?
A little bit.
Like, yep. Like,
And it's also so I have a weakness where like I know certain things, but some stuff I'm very bad at. So like there'll be actors that I've seen them in a million things, but I have no clue what their name is. And
like Lee Arenberg, like the Endo puppet guy. Like you don't know his name's Lee Arenberg, but you know who that is.
you could pay me $1 million, I'd never guess that.
But you know who that is.
As soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, I know that dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but so there's like stuff like that, or like bands. Aside from like if you have a name like Rain Maida, I don't really know like the dudes' names in bands.
Yeah, no, I know. It's true. So you wouldn't know that the singer of Billy Talent's name is Ben?
Ooh, no idea.